this execution management, if I'm a small and medium business owner, how is it beneficial for me? Can you tell me that?
I would answer that, Prashant, by saying that it's going to put you in a position of confidence where you know what's happening, not minute by minute, but pretty close to real time. I use a system, and this is actually a great segue into the how, because when I go to market with my clients, I have a system and process that I use, and realistically, there aren't very many of these systems out there. In fact, it's probably been estimated that less than 11 or 12% of all organizations use some kind of a execution-oriented control mechanism for running their business. Most people are just winging it or doing it the best they know how. And again, some people do that well. So I'm not discounting that it can't be done without a system, but for most, the complexities of the business are just so much, especially small and middle-sized business owners, that you need something. You need a repeatable methodology. So having the system is what sort of keeps you aligned and keeps you in place and keeps you coming back to what it is you need to do, and that's just irreplaceable. In terms of keeping focus on the priorities. But it's just as we've been sharing throughout this conversation. It starts with strategy, effectively translating it, getting it out there to your people, and then either sticking with it or changing it as you go and moving along. And the way that it's working is because that system is set up to help you manage on an individual level. So you're getting the feedback from your people, how they're responding, you're adjusting their goals, you're getting them to think like an owner, you're getting them to knock out their goals and come back to you and say, okay, I got this done. I have 6 months left in the fiscal year. I think I can accomplish this. So really this repeatable methodology just gets people, focused on the right things. And this has been referred to in several different ways, but one way that I like to share it is it's sort of an operating system for your business. If you use a technology application, because then everybody knows this is the umbrella concept. This is where we're trying to go. These are the steps we're taking. And really execution is nothing more than taking the steps to get to a predetermined outcome. So in effect, you're working it backwards. You're saying, okay, here's where we want to be by the end of the year. We want to be the second largest provider in our marketplace. This is how we see, getting there. And so you break that down and you break it down backwards, you re-engineer it, and you assign it in terms of goals and initiatives and tasks to the right individuals on the team, and then you monitor that progress as a leader, and then the real beauty of it all is that once you do all that, and again, the system that I use has a software platform that people can follow along in, that they can track and measure progress on, but the biggest value that I've seen in it is that becomes a central repository of data and information around everything that has happened, strategically for your organization over the course of a year. And then you have all that information next year when you go to rebuild your strategic plan. You're looking through it and saying, man, we did great out of the gate. The first 4 or 5 months were really good. And then we got off track in May. What happened? Well, you can kind of go back and you can point to this and this and this, and you can say that. Most small and medium business owners don't have the time to take pencil and paper. I mean, some people journal, some people take notes, obviously if something big and bad happens to you, you remember that. You never forget that stuff, right? That's the stuff that stings. But for the most part, people aren't recording any of this data and information. Well, a good execution management system will record all that information for you. And virtually it's coming directly from your people. Your people are there and they are putting it in through their dialogue and through their actions and their accomplishments. You're figuring it all out, and that's really the key benefit that helps drive it. Without a system, again, I'm not saying it's impossible to execute well. There are some people, some legacy businesses, some family businesses that have been around for years. They've obviously perfected a lot of things, or at least they do them at a very high level. It can happen, but for most people, and then when you add the complexity of rapid growth and technology into it, you need a system. You need a way to keep track of it. If you want your mental condition to remain solid, and if you want your business to eventually flourish, you need help, and a system will help you keep track of all of that and help you accomplish that.